Hi guys! So I'm by no means an expert at anything to do with webcomics, but I have learned things these past 6 months that I've been doing the webcomic thing. It's something that I wanted to share with you guys because I think making webcomics is so fun and still like a learning experience, and I feel like everybody should do it. Firstly, it forces you to draw things over and over. So if there's something that you struggle with, for example, with me, it's backgrounds. Granted, I'm not great at doing backgrounds all the time, but I have made a point to integrate it into the story to establish settings. So I've been doing it a lot more, and that practice has really helped me. One of the big things for me that I like about webcomics, it's like telling a story but without writing. I have a lot of stories up here. I always have, and I have tried my hand at writing, and I still like it, and I may return to it, but I found that making webcomics is a lot, I wouldn't say easier, but it's easier for me to get the story out. It's like a lot more visual, obviously, and it makes for it works for a lot of different types of stories. I don't know if you guys remember that really creepy jump scare comic that it was like pretty viral years and years ago, and it's pretty, I think it's kind of genius, but it's terrifying. I don't know if you remember this. I'm gonna put any webcomics that I mention, I'm gonna put them down in the description box. So this one is called the Bongcheon-dong Ghost. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like in that story, you can also integrate GIFs into your comic because it's meant to be read on the web. Another thing that I've realized is that it doesn't have to be perfect. Every panel doesn't have to be like a masterpiece. A lot of popular comic artists, their style is very minimalistic. For example, Hyperbole and a Half is done completely in MS Paint. And as you can see, it's a very simple children's drawing almost. And it works. It really works. And then there's Cyanide and Happiness, which is just stick figures, and again, it works. It's a very popular, I'm sure you've seen it all everywhere. What I do for my drawings is usually I'll do the line work, so like the sketch, the line work, and then just gray tones. You could also just leave it as line work, or you can do simple coloring. I also know comic artists who will they'll go for it and they'll color and shade every drawing they make. I applaud them because that was driving me nuts when I was doing that. There's a lot of different types of webcomics too, so if you just have standalone funny things that you want to express, for example, these comics by Sarah Anderson, they're popular. Kind of slice of life, which is self-explanatory. They can also be a continuous narrative story. For example, Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Or it can be I don't even know where you would put Saturday morning breakfast cereal. What category? It's just humorous and standalone, but it's there's so many different ways that you can get something out, that you can make something fun and funny. There's this thing that all of us artists kind of face when sharing our work on the internet, and that's that you will spend hours on a beautiful painting and you'll share it and it'll only get 2 likes and 2 shares, and that's it. And then something that took you 2 seconds to make, the dumbest thing, it'll be shared around like crazy. So this is kind of one way to, I don't know, how would you say it? Like, it's an artist hack. Draw stupid little comics. They don't have to be perfect. And webcomics are also a good place to experiment with your style. Because, I mean, if it's just for fun, it's just for you, why not experiment with different styles? And consistency is nice, especially like in published works and professional stuff. But since this is like, it's just for you, really, it is a great place to experiment with new styles. One comic I can think of that kind of changed its style is Autophobia. I think it's the style, but also the artist improved a little, so it's kind of both, and I think it's really cool to see that kind of progression. And yeah, that's kind of what you get when you make a webcomic. You're able to see like a very clear progression of your art, and plus you get the story out. You don't have to write, you know, a drawing is worth 1,000 words. Or a picture, I guess that's the real saying, but whatever. And yeah, I think next video I'm gonna kind of give you guys tips on how to start. Again, I'm not an expert, but I have been a reader of webcomics for a long time, so I kind of knew. I didn't know what I was doing. I kind of know the tips and tricks. I've learned a little bit while making my own webcomic. Yeah, so come back for that one, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.